In the last video, I said I would cover any new information that comes out regarding the Chris D'Elia situation, and there is at least one very important thing I want to talk about. That being the emails that Chris revealed to prove his innocence. Because when I make a video, my goal is to never tell an unfair account of someone. While I can't be completely objective, I do try to give all sides of a story. So I felt it was necessary to follow up my video with Chris's defense, especially in light of the fact that his defense seems to be getting far less attention than the accusations made against him. Before we get into that though, I want to address a small issue from the previous video. During that video, I read a series of messages from a woman named Abby Grills, posted on Twitter, where I said that Chris D'Elia continued to message Abby after she told him she was 17. I may have been incorrect about this. I don't use Facebook Messenger, and was reading the conversation as if it were a private conversation on Twitter, with the date being at the bottom of the messages. It seems like Facebook messages are different, with the date being at the header. If that is the case, then Chris did actually wait roughly a year after Abby told him she was 17 to message her again. Although this was in spite of the fact that she had already told him that he was too old for her and she wasn't interested. And even after she reminded him of this fact, he kept pressuring her to give him her number. Technically, you can look at this situation and say that he wasn't pursuing an underage fan, but the alternative would be that he was establishing a line of communication with some of them when they were underage, and then hitting them up again when they were old enough, which is pretty creepy in its own right. If these chats are genuine, it makes you wonder how he is keeping track of this information. Does he have a spreadsheet of all these girls' usernames and age ranges, and he's just counting down the days until they're legal? The point being, even if it's not as bad as it could be, it still looks pretty bad, just in a different way. And honestly, I have a very similar opinion of the emails that Chris released to prove his innocence. On June 25th, D'Elia sent the Daily Mail screenshots of his side of the email conversations with 3 women who accused him of predatory behavior: Colleen Riley, Simone Rossi, and Clara Schaller. This was actually predicted a day earlier by Andrew Schultz, who had spoken to D'Elia and claimed that he was gathering information to refute the accusations made against him. When Schultz made his comments, I think a lot of people were expecting a huge info drop or maybe a podcast calling out the accusers. And it's not impossible that we'll see that at some point, but the emails that D'Elia's team released were kind of underwhelming. The most conclusive proof came against Colleen Riley, who initially claimed that Chris tried to procure her when she was 16. However, in D'Elia's side of the email exchange, she told him she was 16, and Chris responded with, "Oh shit, I thought you were at my show. Gotta be 18 at least. My bad. Bye." Personally, I think this is a pretty clear-cut rebuttal to Riley's accusations. That being said, I don't believe his response to Simone Rossi or Clara Schaller were as damning as some of his fans have tried to claim. In the case of Simone Rossi, he provided an email sent by Simone in October of 2019 saying she was 21 and DTF. If you're somebody looking to defend Chris, that might seem like a good rebuttal at first glance, because she was 21 and still interested in having sex with him. But if you look at the timeline, it proves that Simone was right and Chris was talking to her when she was 16. Outing yourself for talking to underage girls when you're being accused of sexually harassing underage girls isn't exactly a slam dunk defense. The Clara Schaller case is a little bit different, but still has the same problem of Chris inadvertently incriminating himself while trying to disprove the accusations against him. For reference, Schaller is the woman who provided screenshots of D'Elia commenting on an Instagram post of her friends on the school bus, and also posted screenshots of emails where he said he needed to get naked with her. In his side of the emails with Schaller, D'Elia asked how old she was. Schaller said she was 12. D'Elia asked again, and she said 24. Both of those were untrue, and Schaller later said that she was joking. Then she did some backpedaling and eventually deleted her Twitter account. It's not a great look on her part, but just stop and think about the situation for a moment. Schaller alleged that D'Elia was having these sexual conversations with her before he asked how old she was. We can't know for sure because neither of them has posted the full logs as far as I'm aware. And they probably won't unless this goes to court. When D'Elia asked her for her age, she said 12, and Chris didn't immediately end the conversation there. Even if you assume it's a joke, what kind of reckless, cum-poisoned lunatic do you have to be to continue talking to somebody who just told you they're 12 years old? At the very best, It's a massive lapse in judgment. The bigger problem for Chris is that in his attempt to refute his main accusers, he ended up legitimizing a whole lot of other people. Anybody who posted a screenshot from the Rocket Mail account just gained credibility. Ultimately, his attempt to clear his name only strengthens the overall accusations of predatory behavior made against him. Now, I could continue to speculate about this situation ad nauseum, but I've already rewritten this video a few times, and I kept finding myself stretching out a fairly minimal amount of information. I mostly just wanted to present Chris's side of the accusations and give my take on them. If enough new info comes out in the next few weeks, I might revisit the subject, but for now, I think this is a good place to end. As always, I want to thank you for watching the video, as well as liking, commenting, and subscribing. I just wanted to get this video out as quickly as possible to tell Chris's side of the story, so I hope you understand if it's a little bit bare bones. If you want to support the channel, please check out my Twitter and Patreon, and a big thank you to my supporters on Patreon who help make these videos possible. Thank you, Erica Hughes, Tex Puncham, Bart Wackenar, Josh G. Grows Mids, Dan Thomas, Mike Roballs, Colin Donahue, Bone CK, James Taylor, CP, Dan Roberts, Nikos Spiridakis, Tambi Helmick, The Son of Man, Neem, Origami Fleshlight, Kevin Howard, Medication Doesn't Work, and Jackie.